Hello everyone. Today we'll see how we can use the MultiSelection class. So let us understand, what we are going to do. So what I will do, I will simply create a button here. Okay. So what that button will do, so when we'll click on that button, so for example, let's say if I select this sales order, this one, like randomly I'm selecting few sales order. And when I will click on that particular button, so if you see here, few buttons get disabled automatically. So we'll create a button here. So as soon as I will click on that button, so we'll display info messages that we have selected this record, this record, this record. So usually the this multi-selection helper class is used when you want to do some kind of modification for more than one records, like usually by UI. So here, when you click on cancel, so it will, so this button, the logic of this button will get triggered. So, let's go to Visual Studio. We'll create this, then it would be, easier to understand. So what I will do, the first thing that I will do is I will create extension of my CustTable. Sorry, not CustTable. And this says, yeah, I will create extension of my sales table here. So I will go to sales table, like the name of our form is sales table only, sales table. So I will simply create extension here because I need to add a button here. So I'll create extension. So let me open this form. So I will go to action pane here, and let me go to this sales order. So here I will create button inside the sales order new. So I will create my button here. I will simply say new button. So usually when you create a button, you typically write code on click method. So I will say the button name as something like multi sales order, and I will give a label here. So I'll say something like click sales ID, something like this. And here we need to make sure we select this property to yes. And let me do one thing. Let me also do this as yes auto declaration if we require this somewhere in the code. Okay, so we are done. So what we have done, we have simply created a button here. Okay, so our button name is click sales ID. So what we'll do, that will be visible here, and that will simply show us the sales ID. So in real case scenario, you could do modification. Let's say if you want to change some field for multiple sales order at one go, so this functionality is typically used there. So what I will do, I will use let me use this event handler here. So I will copy my event handler method and I will create a new class. Click here, I'll go to add class. So I will keep my class name as multi helper, something like example, and so I will simply remove this. Let me remove this, and I will paste that boilerplate code here. Okay, so we are done here. Let me hide them. Okay, so let me save this. So the first thing is that you could get form run easily. So I will define here variable form run. I will say form run equals to sender dot form run. Okay, yeah, here we go. So we have the form run available here. Now from our form run, we can easily get form data source. So I will say fds equals to form run dot data source. Now I have data source available. So now I will use my multi selection multi multis. Yeah, this one multi-selection helper class. I will define object here, and let me simply initialize this. So I will say multi-selection helper, and I will simply use construct here. So this will get initialized. Okay. Now this helper object have a function named as param data source, where you can pass your form data source. So we already have form data source available here. So I will simply pass this here, and we'll close this one. Okay. So now what I will do, I will define my variable here. So I will define my table here. So I will say sales table, and here I will simply say sales table. Now from this helper class, I could easily get my first record. Okay, so I will close this one. Okay, so now what I will do, I will simply say here while if we have the data available in sales table. So here we'll write our logic. We could write any logic, and now once our logic is completed for that buffer, then I could get the next buffer by this my helper class. So I will say helper dot get next. That's it. And here we'll simply display. Okay, so we'll say info strfmt, and I will say here you clicked on sales ID, and then we'll display our sales ID here. I click it, I will close this. Here I will display sales table dot sales ID, and yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so let me build this code and see. So build is completed. We'll go to front end now. Okay, so here first of all our button should be visible here. Yeah, so we created this button. So what I will do, I will randomly select few records here. This one. So here if you see, as I saw you a few minutes back, only this button was enabled. Now this button is also enabled. So when I click on this button, so we should see the info messages here. So let me click here. So is 7337519 So it is basically used to update data, but just for demo purpose I've shown the info statement. So let me reiterate here, so far. So what we have done, our goal was to use this multi-selection helper class. So first of all, you simply call the construct of this class, and here you have a method called param data source. So in your param data source, you simply need to pass your form data source. Okay, so when you pass your form data source, then you could easily get the first record from this function, from this helper class. Helper is nothing but multi-selection helper class. So you could easily get the first record. Now once you have first record, you can use a while loop here. You see already the sales table have buffer, so this will get printed. Then it will check your next record. Okay, so as we have selected 3 records, so it get called 3 times. So when the 3 iterations are completed, then here you will get null. So eventually you will get exit out of this loop. And here, from the sender, we easily get form run, and then we define the variable form data source. Okay, because we need the form data source, so we get our form data source from our form run dot data source method. So thank you for watching this video.